This is Luton. Hi guys, and this is my first Battlefield 4 video. What we're going to be looking at here is footage throughout the 17-minute trailer, broken down and taken elements out of it. Now this is really a reaction. We're thinking about the first look of the game, and there was so much that you could take away from this title. But one of the key things that I really focus on is the pace in the game. It's something that I've spoken about with the people at the event. It's something that I spoke about with Lars and with Karl M, the general manager and the creative director of the series. And it's an element that portrays and runs throughout so many elements in Battlefield is pacing, and this whole feeling of only in Battlefield, because all of those things come together. As we see here, moving from scene to scene, we have the characters, the elements all coming together. You have that first initial feeling from those two scenes we saw there of these kind of slow moving engagements where you move through. It really sets the scene, and then as you enter into these more frantic firefight battles, that's really where this feeling of pace comes in, and you have a sense of kind of genuine fear building up, or a reaction to certain situations, environments around you. You have more of an engagement because that presence has been built up, and it brings so much more involvement for you. These kind of elements here where he's moving in, you have a more kind of a presence of mind to get engaged and into the firefight, because you've been waiting to that. It's not a constant roller coaster where it's one thing after another after another after another. You actually have time to think and move between scenes. So we see them here after they've had their engagement. Now they move on, they kind of have this time to regroup, to rethink. And here we see certain elements, you know, see how the situation changes from these kind of claustrophobic close quarter environments up into this kind of deep transparent forest through here. Look at the depth as well, was something that really stood out for me. You see the depth in the trees, and that's something that you see so rarely in games. Look at the trees here on the left hand side. That was something that really blew me away when I looked at that, was the depth of foliage, and that's something that's very, very difficult because of the detail involved, and you see even more detail coming forward. But again, see how the pace has changed from that firefight into this kind of more calm, relaxed. You go from that into this, another massively intense firefight, and that is the beauty of Battlefield, the way that it works, this kind of pacing system. It's something that's so strong, and it's something that I believe is a core element to any title in order for it to be successful, is this kind of feeling of pace. Look at this, you have just complete destruction coming from a situation of serenity before, and this permeates not just single player mode. And again, look, see, we're on the move, but we go from this straight back into absolute chaos once again. It's something that permeates the multiplayer as much as the single player, and this is another thing, is that everyone has been commenting about the single player after the game. You know, we're talking about it and people going, well, single player, we haven't seen the multiplayer. These are elements and core principles that permeate through both, you know, elements of the game. You see these things translate easily into multiplayer, and I think it's far too easy to overlook that. Think about the kind of engagements that you have, like for example coming up right here. This is a typical engagement that could be happening in multiplayer just as much single player. You're on the move, there's a chopper in the air, he's hunting you down, you're trying to get out of the way. You feel that fear, you feel the tension, you want to get out of the way, you've got an objective to complete, and yet this guy, he's coming for you, he's coming for you, he's coming for you. You know you've got to escape him, but he's hunting you down, he's in the air above you, he's flying around you, you've got to do something about it. It's between you and your team to take this guy down, and that's what it comes down to. It's these moments, these situations where you have built up to, and that's when I say it's the tone of engagement, the feeling in the game that creates it for you. Hope you've enjoyed this, guys. Please rate and share. More Battlefield content on the way. I'm very excited for this game, very excited indeed.